Hello everyone. Now here we have created the user interface for the attendance tracker. We're going to continue this by coding. We're going to start coding and we're going to do that by going into blocks. Towards the right hand side corner we see the blocks. When I go down to the blocks here, I see under the blocks, I see the built-in wherein I have the control logic and the others, and we have the screen here which has got all the components that we have added on the user interface, including the tiny db one and the clock one. Now to begin with, we're going to start coding. For that, I'm going to go down to the variables and I'm going to pick up initialize global variable. Here I'm going to add the total present variable and I would be initializing this to 0. Now I can go down here and pick up the initialize global variable, or I can simply duplicate this. When I do this, I'm going to say total absent. Then let's duplicate this. Now I would be removing this one from here, and then I will add the attendance list. Once I have this, I'm going to go down to the list here. We have the option which says create empty list. So when I add this, we would be creating a variable with the empty list. So we have the three things ready. Now going ahead, we're going to initialize the screen. For that, I would be going down to the screen, and here we have the when screen initialize button. Under the screens, here we are going to put in all the things that needs to set up on the screen when the screen gets loaded. So for that, I would go down to the variable here which says date and time. Okay, here I want to tell you this, that I have named the under the designs, we have the option here where we added the tab and we said date and time, wherein the date and the time of the time when the screen gets loaded would be put up. So I'm going to go down to blocks and I would be doing that. So I would go down to the date and time here and I would pick up the set date and time text. So here I'm going to pick up the set date and time text. So when I add this, so when I set this, I would go down to the clock here and I would be picking up the command clock.format date and time. So I would go down here and pick up call clock format date and time, and then I'm going to place it here so that here it's going to place the date and time in the format mmddyy. Now I need to pick up the call, pick up the time. So for that, I would be going down to the clock again and I would pick up the command here which says call clock dot now. Let's see where call clock dot now is present. Here, call clock now is present here. So this will load the date and time, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go down and say for the total present, I would be displaying the total present. So what I'm going to do here is so now you all know that we have added this command here, and this command picks up the clock time which is present right now and stores it into the variable which we have on the user interface, that is the date and time. Now that we have done that, I'm going to go down to the total present. I go to total present, I'm going to pick up the command that says total present.text. So let's look at that. It's over here, total present.text, and I would be storing it with the value which says present followed by a colon and then the number of learners present. So for that, what I would do is I would go down to the text here, use the join command, and then here go down to the text again and pick up the double quotes, and I would be adding present, and then I would go down to the variables here and pick up the command get, and then I would be storing the total present inside. So I would be loading in the command which is get global total present over here. Next, you can go down here again into the command wherein we have the total absent and pick up the command says set absent.text, total absent.text. So let's see where it is here, and put it here and again do the entire thing, or simply go down here, duplicate this, put it up here, choose the command or the choose the variable total absent, then I'm going to say here absent, okay, and then I would be adding the variable global absent. Now let's set the global attendance variable. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to pick up the set, and then I'm going to say set the global attendance list to, let's set the global attendance list. So I'm going to go down to the database and I'm going to say call the database. I'm going to say call the database, and you're going to tag it with the value present. Sorry, it is attendance, so I'm going to tag it with the value attendance. Attendance. Okay, and then we would be putting in the, we go down to the list and we have the empty list. So I'm going to add the empty list if nothing is there, and then I would go down to the list here and then set view. We're going to go down to the set list viewer dot element. Where is this set list viewer dot element? We're going to set this with the variable which is, I'm going to go down to the variable. Okay, now that we have done this, I'm going to duplicate this and then I'm going to add for the present, I'm going to add the text here which says present, okay, and then I'm going to add a colon here so that there is a little space between the value which displays the present, and then I'm going to go down and add the value 0 to start with. Now I would duplicate this, and instead of saying global total present, I'm going to put total global total absent, and then I would be adding absent. So we have initialized this. Now we're going to continue coding the buttons. So let's see how we do it. So now to begin with, I'm going to go down to the buttons here. So we know that under the blocks, under the screen, we have the components. So where are the buttons? So we have the button present. So I'm going to say here when the button present is clicked. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do. So to begin with, we're going to check if we're going to go down to control and pick up the if command, and we're going to check if the text that we are picking up from the text box is equal to a blank text, or if it is equal to a or is equal to or is not equal to a blank text. So for that, what we're going to do is I'm going to go down to the logic and use the block here which says equals comparison operator. I'm going to do the not equal to sign here. I'm going to place a not equal to sign here. Then I would be going down to the text box wherein we put in our text, which is the text name. So I'm going to go down here and pick up the text which says set dot text, set text name dot text. Okay, we found it here. It says set. Oops, this is not the one. So here it is, text name dot text. So I'm going to be putting it inside. So I'm going to check that and see if it is equal to a blank text. If it is not equal to a blank text, then we're going to start adding the items. So let's see what we are going to do. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to pick up the command that says add list to list items. So I'm going to pick up the command here which says add list to items, and then I'm going to start adding the variables. So for that, I'm going to go down to the variable here get, and I would be picking up the get attendance text. So now once I do that, looks like I have given the ranks. Okay, so we're going to add the get attendance text here. So now that we have got the attendance text, that is the name. So what we're going to do is we're going to join it and then I would be joining the text name dot text and the so I'm going to go down here and use text name dot text, and I would be joining the text here that says present. Okay, so now whatever text is there, it gets added with the text present. So let's add a small gap here and add one single dash to separate. So this is how we're going to be doing it. So moving on, what we're going to do is we're going to set the global present variable and we're going to increment it by 1. So for that, I would be going down to variables and I would say set global present variable with the so we need to add it. So I'm going to go down to the math and pick up the addition symbol. Then I would be adding the global total present variable here. So let's go down to variable and I would say get global present variable, and then I would be adding the number one. Okay, so now moving on, Now I will be setting a total present variable, so I'm going to go down here and say set total present, set total present dot text, and then I would be joining so I will be picking up and I would be joining the present text, with the get global present. So for that I'm going to go down here and I'm going to pick up the command and I'm going to say get total global total present. So once done, I would be viewing this on the list. So I'm going to go down to the list view, and then I would be picking up the command saying set list view dot elements. So let's quickly search for the set list view dot elements. Set list view dot elements to get global attendance. So I will be going down to the variables and I'm going to get down the global attendance list, which has been updated. Now this will display it under the list. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to call the tiny database. So for that I'm going to go down to the database and say call tiny database, and we're going to store it with the value with the tag where it says. So for the tag I'm going to go down to the text and I'm going to pick up this and we will be writing attendance okay, and then we would go down and get the value, which is the for the variable global attendance. So once this is done, we can duplicate this and do the same thing for the present. So I would be duplicating this and I would say instead of attendance I would say present, just like we added over here. I'm going to add it up here, and then instead of saying global attendance I would say total present. Okay, so once the list gets updated, what we're going to do is we would go down to set text name dot text, set name dot text, to blank text. Okay, so now that we have done this, let's look into the output. So for the output we will execute it. I'm going to go down to connect and the present has been put up there. Now let's quickly add the name. Let's say Mike, and then say click on present. So you see that it comes up saying Mike is present and the value 1 is added up over there. So we know now that it is working. Let's add one more name. Let's say Ria, and then let's click on present. You see that Ria is also added up here. Okay, so now that we have done the present button, now let's do the absent button. So now I'm going to go down to the button here which says button absent, and then we're going to pick up the command here, block command, which says when button absent clicked. So we're going to do almost the same thing. I'm going to go down to the controls and pick up the if statement here. When the if statement is picked up, I'm going to check if there is a text present on the text box. So for that I would be using the logical operator here and then say not equal to. Now I would be picking up the text from the text box. So for that I'm going to go down to the text name, come down here, pick up the command which says text name dot text, text name dot text. So I'm going to be putting up this inside the command and then use the blank text here. So if it is not equal to a blank text, then it is going to get updated. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go down to the list and we're going to use the command which says add item to list, and then we're going to pick up the variable which says global attendance list. Now once the attendance list is done, we're going to join the text, and I would be saying that we're going to join the text which is put up in the text box. So I'm going to go down and again pick up the text command here. And then we're going to add the text followed by it saying that it is absent. So now moving on, we're going to set the global total absent and increment it by 1. So let's go down to the variable set global total absent, and then we'll go down to math and say plus, oops, I'm going to go down to the math and use the plus command and then get total absent, get the command which says get total absent, so let's go down to the variable and get the command here, get total absent, and we're going to increment it by 1, and then we're going to go down to the list and say set. So we're going to go down to the option which says set list view get global attendance list. So I'm going to go down here and go down to the variables and say get global attendance list. So now here we're going to go down to the database, and then I'm going to say call tiny database and store and tag the value. So I'm going to go down here and tag it with the value absent. Okay. I think I wrote the wrong spelling. Absent. And then I would be getting the variable here which says get global total, and then I would be setting the text. So for that I would go down to global and then pick up the text which says set total absent dot text, I'm going to go down here to set total absent dot text, and we would be setting this to and we will set this to the join. I'm going to add the text here which says absent. And then I would be getting the variable here which stores the total absent. Now once it gets updated, I would have to clear the text box in which the name is written. So I would say set text dot text. Let's see, yes, text dot text is present. I'm going to pick up the command which says set text dot text to so here you go, our absent button is ready. So now let's code the clear button. So for that I would be going down to the button which says clear, and then I would pick up the when clear button clicked. So when we do this, we need to set and clear all the variables and the database. So for that I would be going down to the variables and pick up the set command. So first I would say set variable playlist attendance list, set variable global attendance list to list. We're going to say create empty list. So once that is done, I would be duplicating this and removing the list, then picking up the next variable here. Then I would say 0, yeah, and then duplicate this, then add the variable present, and then say it as 0. Then let's go down to view list. So we have the view list here. So I would be saying set view list dot elements. So we're going to put the elements with the global attendance list, which would be again the empty list. So set view list dot elements to the variable which says get attendance list, and then we would be going down here and setting the total present dot text. Okay, instead of going there, we'll just pick up this one here, which is set total present dot text with to 0. And then we would be taking the set total present dot text with the value to 0. Okay, so now once these both are done, we're going to clear the database. So for that, what we're going to do is I would be going down to the database here and then say clear tag. So we're going to add the command which says clear tag, and then we're just going to write the text here which says attendance. I'm going to go down to the text, pick up the blank text and add the text here. Attendance. And then we would be duplicating this and tag present. Then we would also add absent. Okay, now that we have done this, let's quickly let's quickly run this and see. So for that, I will be running the let's scan it. So once scanned, it's going to take a little while. Okay, it's open here. So let's click on the clear button. We see that everything is cleared. So now let's add the first one and see if it is working. We will say real. Okay, and click on present. So real is present. Let's say Mike and say absent. So it is absent. So you see that both the one and the one is present and one absent has been updated. So let's do the other one more. So let's say Harry. Let's say Harry is present, and there you go, we have two present and one absent. So it is so it is working good. So learners, that's it for this video. Keep learning, keep exploring.